gums at each other any chance they get. The fight clock is brought to you by Machado.
It's time
for you to sit back, relax, and listen to a complete and fucking utter armchair expert give his completely and utterly useless opinions on the one hell of an amazing sport that is MMA.
G'day, guys. Sorry about that. I peaked a little bit. So I'll give you some advance warning. This is probably going to be a short one, but yeah, because obviously there's not really a lot to talk about this week with the upcoming card, and all I can really do is sort of recap the last one. And I do also want to talk about, probably at the end, Conor McGregor's recent rape trial that didn't go his way. But I guess we'll just start off by very quickly recapping UFC 309, which just went down in New York, and saw Charles Oliveira beat Dustin Poirier in their rematch to secure a rematch, I believe, I think, or at least I forget if it's a rematch or a fight with Islam Makhachev next for the lightweight title. And also it saw in, of course, the very controversial fight, Jon Jones defeat Stipe Miocic. I think it was in the third round. I'm sure it was. Hold on. UFC 309. Yes, it was. It was in the third round by TKO. He basically got him with a spinning heel kick to his liver, and that downed Stipe, and then I think he TKO'd him after it. And then Stipe immediately on the spot just retired. Probably realized the moment he went in that this was going to be his last fight, and you know, he did what he could. He'd spent I think 4 years out of the cage at that point, and you know, he's in his 40s, and he's not a full-time fighter. He's obviously not training full-time. He's a firefighter. So, yeah, congratulations to him. He'll always be known as one of the greatest to ever do it, especially at heavyweight. But, yeah, Jon Jones, still the champion. Dana White has come out and reiterated that it is going to be Tom Aspinall who's next. And Jon kind of hinted, he said at the end of the fight, he was like, let's get down and give the people what they want, which is obviously him versus Tom. And we'll see, man. We'll see if that happens or not. But, yeah, that was UFC 309. And when I come back, we will talk about UFC 310. All that and more when I come back. So, UFC 310 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, will be headlined by a flyweight title fight between Alexandre Pantoja and Kai Asakura. And will be preceded, by a welterweight bout between Shavkat Rakhmonov and Aidan Machado Garry, of course, who's very controversial. And then, of course, before that, it'll be a heavyweight fight between Ciryl Gane and Alexandre Volkov, which I believe was meant to be on one of the preceding cards. I forget which one, but it was cancelled, and now it's going to be on this one. So let's just go to the UFC website and see what the odds are. Hang on one sec. So yeah, okay. So sorry about that. So the number 2 ranked Ciryl Gane is the favorite against Volkov, who's number 3, ironically, in the heavyweight division. He's the favorite, Ciryl Gane. Shavkat Rakhmonov, ranked number 3, versus Machado Garry, ranked number 7. They're saying Shavkat is the favorite. And, of course, no surprise, the champ is the favorite against Asakura from Japan. There was, of course, meant to be a second title fight. Bilal Muhammad was meant to be on the card, but that had to be cancelled. And I could be wrong, but I believe he's going to be on the next card, UFC 311. No, he's not. Okay, don't worry about that. And he won't be on 312 either, because that's in Australia. But yeah, guys, that's UFC. Sorry about that. A video I just played. Yeah, that's UFC 309. There's not too much really to be overly excited about, if I'm being honest. But when when we have so many good cards in a year, I suppose there's got to be a few not so good ones. But yeah, man, that's it for this year. This will be my last podcast about a card for this year, and after that, it's just we'll probably do a end of year recap podcast, and then it's on to next year. God, it'll be 5 years next year since I started watching UFC again. How crazy is that? Far out. But yeah, man, that'll do for UFC 310. And when we come back, Conor McGregor's rape trial. All that and more when I come back. So to finish the podcast off, let's talk Conor McGregor. We've talked about him a lot on this podcast, but that was not before his fall from grace, I guess you could call it. I mean, some people would say that's already happened, but he has now been branded guilty, I guess you could say, in a civil court in Ireland for the alleged rape of a girl called Nikita Hand in an island hotel in 2018, I think it was, 6 years ago. So it wasn't long after Conor fought Khabib and lost to him, quite famously. And what's kind of ironic is that one of the things that was alleged to have been said by Conor to this girl was a reference back to that fight. So I don't know. I'm not gonna speak on the case itself and my beliefs on it, because it's pretty controversial. Obviously, there's a lot of women's groups that are kind of speaking out about it, and other people, I guess, and then there's some others that aren't, and it's just one of those topics that I'd rather not get into. But I do want to speak about Conor McGregor's legacy post this judgment, I guess you will, if you will, which Conor is appealing, by the way. That is important to be noted. Apparently Conor is appealing the judgment, but look, it's hard to say Conor's legacy comes out of this looking rosy, to be honest. If you're branded a rapist, whether you did it or not, it's a pretty toxic thing to be labeled as. We've already seen brands that have, come out and decided they wanted nothing to do with him, including Proper 12, which he founded. And obviously sold for a lot of money. So that's got to be embarrassing. His name's no longer going to be on there anymore. And there's a number of other brands as well, but that's probably the most notable one. But, even the impact on Dee Devlin, who's Conor's partner, obviously, you know, she was coming out strong about it, but you got to think there's something inside her that has really changed, you know, whether this be a long-term thing or just now, has really changed her view on Conor. Like, he cheated on her. Whether he raped Nikita or not, he cheated on her, and he admitted to that, which, you know, given the sort of relationship they've had over the years, is not a good look. And yeah, I don't know. It's just sad, man. You know, I saw a video recently of the Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo press conference, which is nearly 10 years ago, as crazy as that sounds. And, you know, they were, you know, singing, basically. It was in Ireland. The press conference was in Ireland, and they were singing, you know, McGregor's here, you're going to get in. Oh, I forget what the song was, but the whole crowd was singing, and it was such an electric atmosphere. And, you know, we've never seen someone like that before, and we probably never will see someone like that again. So to see it go this way, where I think even some fans in Ireland have changed their view on Conor, it's just sad, man. It really is. Yeah, I hope the appeal works well and things go back to being okay, but right now for Conor, it's not looking too good, to be honest. The UFC probably will have him back, because, you know, they let Dana stay around after slapping his wife. But, you know, as for, you know, the businesses and the brands he's partnered up with, BKFC will probably still stay partnered with him, but there's a lot of them that have gone, and it's got to have hit Conor in the hip pocket and certainly hit his reputation, and it's a real shame. But anyway, guys, like I said, this will be the last podcast for the year to do with the card, before probably a recap episode at the end of the year, and then on to next year. But yeah, as always, enjoy the last card of the year wherever you're watching it from, and till the next one and the last one, catches.